Greetings once again, Sonic Riders. Duuz-Diz-Din back again with more of IDW Sonic the Hedgehog, where previously, as Amy and Tails investigated the Clean Sweep Inc. battleship, discovering a tied-up Belle, who informed them that just as she was inspecting Sonic, Amy, and Tails' boards, Clutch and his boys came in, demanding to take over those particular boards. When Belle objected, she was tied up and stuffed in a locker, which honestly is very damning evidence in and of itself. And even Jewel seems to have caught on that there's something shady about the way Clutch does things, especially when she can't seem to get in touch with Sonic and the gang after they were expelled from the race. But during said competition, the Phantom Rider appears once again, but this time, it's not Sonic, as Sonic in his Phantom Rider getup watches another Phantom Rider come in, brandishing Duo's scarf, saying, "1 down, 3 to go." The Diamond Cutters give chase, but so do the Babylon Rogues, as well as Surge and Kit. Surge having a taste for the heroism lifestyle, while Jet doesn't want to be upstaged yet again by Surge. As the chase goes on, the second Phantom Rider manages to knock Lanolin off of her board, embarrassing her yet again. But the area that they're in is misty and full of misdirection, as seemingly for no reason, Surge appears before Whisper and Tangle, mocking Whisper. As Whisper pursues, she runs into the actual Surge, who knows not why Whisper is after her, but she's far too willing to join into a fight. As Sonic watches all of this goes on, Mimic comes after him, removing Sonic's mask and discovering that he is the Phantom Rider. Sonic doesn't catch sight of Mimic, but thanks to Sonic accidentally activating some of the weaponry on his board, it causes a chain reaction that reveals him to everyone else present, Babylon Rogues, Whisper and Tangle, as well as Surge and Kit. But thanks to the collapsing debris, Sonic is able to make his escape. Mimic brings this information back to Clutch, who is angered, determined to make sure Sonic chokes on this little exploit. Meanwhile, Tangle and Whisper decide not to share this information with Lanolin, who's being goaded to more and more anger by Duo, with Tangle and Whisper deciding that they'll find out what Sonic is up to on their own. Meanwhile, as Surge gains more and more praise for her actions against the Phantom Rider, she finds herself actually enjoying the life of a hero, with Kit pushing her to do so more and more, as she seems to genuinely enjoy it, while the Babylon Rogues, finding out that Sonic is behind the Phantom Rider, clue in that Sonic wouldn't do something like this without a reason, and that reason must be that Clean Sweep Inc. is shady. Multiple parties are coming to their own conclusions, and while nobody seems to be against Sonic just yet, this could cause massive ramifications in the future. What'll happen next? Join me as I find out, won't you? We're almost at issue 75. Oh, time flies, but I've been loving it. I love this cover too. Jet flying off against the Phantom Rider and the clouds forming Surge with an electric eye in the middle. That is cool. Alright, our story by Evan Stanley. Pencils by Aaron Hammerstrom, who has been doing a phenomenal job on art, I gotta say. Inks by Matt Forrest. Colors by the man Reggie Graham. Letters by Sean Lee. Associate editor Bixie Mathieu. Editor Thea Chook, and production by Johanna Natali. Ooh, those alternate covers are really good. Cover game has been on point with the story arc. Alright, the roll call. We have Sonic the Hedgehog, the Blue Blur, the fastest thing alive, miles tails per hour, tech-savvy sidekick, and high-flying genius. Amy Rose, hammer-swinging heroine and restoration ally. Belle the Tinkerer, clumsy marionette, and enthusiastic newcomer. Well, she's been around long enough that I wouldn't really call her a newcomer. Kinda. Clutch the Possum, seedy businessman, Eggman tech hoarder. Surge the Tenric, the mean green roguish speedster. Dawn the Rooster, night shift custodian at KTBR, 199.2 nightly. Wow, it's weird that Dawn is getting a moment in the roll call and not Night the Owl. And shockingly enough, thanks for spoiling them appearing in this, but Team Chaotix, H Detective Agency and Chaotix Detective Agency. I feel like I said Detective Agency twice. And then Rough and Tumble the Skunks, Thugs Out for Revenge, Brothers and Mercenaries. Man, more and more characters keep getting added to this, and I love it. Those are my favorite kind of stories. All right, we pick up in Clutch's little lounge area, I think inside the battleship, where Surge and Kit bust in with Surge saying, "Clutch!" Clutch swishes around his drink saying, "I take the first cola of the day very seriously, so I hope you have a good reason for interrupting it." Surge says, "Darn right we do. We quit," he says confidently. Clutch takes a sip and then bits out his drink laughing, much to Surge and Kit's surprise. Surge spins him around in his chair saying, "I mean it, old man, we're serious." Clutch wipes away a tear saying, Sorry, it's just, you don't seem to understand the situation you're in." He slams down his drink, startling Surge. He gets up, a cold look in his eyes, staring down Surge, saying, "Now that you've had a taste of the limelight, you come to see our little arrangement as a burden, is that it? But here's the thing about that fame you're enjoying. It's not yours." He looms over the pair saying, "I made you heroes because that's what I needed. I can make you monsters just as easily." Like, dude, I'm actually shocked. Oh man, Clutch is playing this well. But is he biting off more than he can chew by threatening these two? I wonder. He smiles a devilish smile saying, "Cheer up. You get the glory, the fame. Hey, you even get to be a little violent now and then. All you have to do is maintain appearances. You should be thanking me." But he then leans in saying, "Fine, I'll make this simple. Quit now. Quiet down, do your job, and know your place." Surge trembles in anger, while Kit remains silent. Clutch tells her, Speaking of your job, I've got a hedgehog problem I want you to take care of. Next time you face the Phantom Rider, destroy him." Cut to Surge outside, screaming in anger, bursting with electricity, saying, "That's stinking slimy. Rah! No one tells me what I can do." He fires off electricity that flings Kit backwards. Meanwhile, outside, we see several vehicles trailing behind Clutch's battleship. Meanwhile, under the tour bus, Sonic is trying to get his disguise to work again. Sonic looks at his cracked gauntlet, saying, "No good. Tails could fix this." As Sonic sulks, he says, "There were way too many close calls last time. I hope Tails and Amy are faring better than I am." But Sonic is startled as lightning strikes right next to him. Sonic puts a hood over his head, looking around, saying, "An electrical storm out of nowhere?" As several vehicles start to crash into each other. Other vehicles swerve around Sonic, with some of the people inside calling out, "Is that the Phantom Rider? What's with the hood?" Another one says, "Is he doing this?" While someone else says, "Hey, eyes on the sky!" While lightning strikes another vehicle. As the vehicle starts to sputter and fall out of the sky, Sonic races towards it saying, "Shoot!" But suddenly he's cut off by Storm, who manages to hold the vehicle up with his immense strength. As Jet and Wave fly past him, Storm tells him, "I got this. You two take care of the rest." Jet calling back, "Another great plan from yours truly. This is sure to get us back on top." While Wave rolls her eyes, she hands over some light batons saying, "It was my plan and you know it." Jet says, "Sure, but I'm the leader so I get the credit. Enough yapping, let's go." They fan out their light batons, flying in a circular motion to help guide the straggling vehicles. Jet calls out, "Keep going, I'll round them up," with Wave giving an annoyed, "Aye aye, Captain." As Jet continues to direct the straggling vehicles, he says, "Come on, people, form a line." And as Jet gets them to follow Wave's direction, he calls out, "And remember, the Babylon Rogues got you out of this mess. And we take tips of all sorts. He notices Sonic trying to fly under the vehicles out of sight as Jet calls out, throwing out his batons. You! He goes racing in, cutting off Sonic, saying, "It's all over," much to Sonic's shock. As Sonic tries to dip away, Jet grabs at Sonic's cloak, saying, "Sonic the Hedgehog, I know it's you. Whatever you're up to, it stops now." Sonic flies up, trying to still cover his face with the cloak. Sonic presses at his gauntlet, saying, "Come on, give me something. Okay, let's try plan B." Sonic is forced to throw off his cloak into Jet's face, saying, "Sorry, Jet, but that's not happening." Jet claws to try to get the cloak off his face, saying, "Grr, you cheater." Sonic flies off, saying, "Go tell it to the refs." As Sonic once again tries to hide next to an air RV, he says, "Looks like I lost him for now. But I also lost my so fashionable disguise. Better stay out of sight." Oh, suddenly the door to the RV next to him pops open while Sonic looks around, saying, "If I duck under the cloud layer, maybe I can catch up to the caravan later." But then he's suddenly yanked into the RV. Sonic, now on the couch, says, "What?" As Night the Owl says, "Well, the plot thickens." I guess they didn't meet before. Sonic readies himself, saying, "Whoever you are, I won't." Wait, I know that voice. Are you the event announcer? Night laughs, saying, "Ha ha! You should see the look on your face. Sonic the Hedgehog squaring up on my couch. I'm not sure what I was expecting, but it wasn't this good." He shakes Sonic's hand, saying, "Chill, you're among friends. I'm Night the Owl, as you so astutely observed, and welcome to our humble home on the wing, the bad investment. My esteemed colleague Dawn named her." Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure it's been shown that Night and Dawn are like a couple or something. The bad investment. Dawn calls over from the driver's seat, saying, "I hear you talking back there. Did you catch him? Can't believe you talked me into this." Night pushes Sonic forward, saying, "Feast your eyes on the Phantom Rider, my dear." Dawn says, is that who I think it is?" He glares Sonic down, saying, "You put on quite a show in Misty Pyre." Well, Sonic takes a serious look, saying, "That wasn't me." Dawn smiles and looks back at the sky. I was going to say road, saying, "I told you it wasn't the real Phantom. Night, never bet against my gut. You were way funnier than that phony." "Get down," he says. He pushes Sonic's head down as Dawn catches sight of Jet still looking around for Sonic. As Jet peeks into the bad investment, seeing only a nervous Night and Dawn, he flies off. Dawn then sighing in relief, while Night says, "Groovy, so who wants cocoa?" Later, as Night hands over a cup of cocoa, he says, "That's quite the story, Sonic. Aren't you worried that will reveal your identity?" Sonic shrugs, saying, "It's a bit late for that. It would have been nice to keep flying under the radar, but it doesn't change anything really. My friends are counting on me, so no matter what the world thinks, I'll do what I gotta do." Typical Sonic. "And I don't know, you seem like good people to me. Plus, your cocoa rocks. What's in here?" "Ugh." Dawn says, "Cinnamon and just a bit of chili." "Ugh." Sonic then asks, "Your turn. What are you two up to?" Night slams his mug on the table, saying, "You're familiar with the Chaotic Detective Agency, yes? Dawn and I help them out from time to time. They've been investigating Clean Sweep Inc. for a while. And since I work with the Restoration sometimes, the sweepstakes was the perfect opportunity to do some snooping. We spoke the night before everything kicked off. They were going to take a look around the Restoration shuttle, but we haven't heard from our boy since. We're getting a bit desperate for leads, which is why I picked you up." We then see everyone land in the next location. And isn't that the valley from the annual that we had not too long ago? What was it called? It was the 900th Adventure. It was in the Blaze story. Man, I can't find the name for it. If you know the name, let me know in the comments, unless it's in this actual issue, which it should be. But Sonic says, "Tails and Amy are on the shuttle. If you can find them, they might know something about the Chaotix." Night says, "Say, that's not a bad idea." They have a Brush 42 poster. That's cool. Dawn then comes in with Sonic's gauntlet, saying, "All done. Nothing a little duct tape and elbow grease couldn't fix." Sonic puts on the gauntlet, saying, "Well, here goes nothing." He does a little henshin move. And sure enough, the Phantom Rider is back, helmeted up and everything. As Sonic heads out, he says, "Thanks, I owe you one, seriously." The Knight saying, "Oh, it's nothing. Now go out there and get to the bottom of this." And Sonic rockets out of their RV. Meanwhile, back on top of the ship, as the storm passes and day breaks, Surge is on her knees, utterly devastated, saying, "First Starline, now Clutch. No matter what we do, someone always controls us." Kit comes in and gives a hug, saying, "I know, but it's okay. I have an idea," Kit says with a determined look in his eyes. And so even they're against Clutch. Meanwhile, Tails, Amy, and Belle race down the halls of the airship. Tails whispering, "How much further?" with Belle saying, "Just a second." As they peek around the corner, Belle says, "In there." They see a door guarded by the mascots of Clean Sweep Inc., Dr. Yoke and Nick, with Tails whispering, "Those are Clean Sweep's mascots, right? What are they doing here?" Amy then suddenly pushes Belle out from the cover, saying, "Go, tell Jewel what's happening." And as Belle stares down the mascot, she nervously says, "Hi, I'm Belle. Nice to meet you. I'm just here to see Jewel, so..." But Dr. Yoke blocks the path, saying, "Miss Jewel is too busy to see anybody today." Belle then takes a moment, saying, "Hang on, didn't you have a bow tie before? It was big and red with..." Oh, sawdust. As she remembers what was used to tie her up. I didn't even make that connection. And then says, "You know what? I'm just gonna get..." And before she can finish, Dr. Yoke grabs her by the head. Such a funny image. And then picks her up, saying, we're gonna lock you up extra good this time." Sonic and Amy and Tails rush in. Force of habit. As Tails calls out to Belle, Amy says, "We're coming." But their path is blocked by Nick, the mascot crab meat. But Belle then pulls her tail, which activates her kick function. I love that we don't even see the collision. Oh, you know what? Jewel is in her office with a mountain of paperwork and with earmuffs on. Oh no, are they headphones? As a voice says, "And allow the sound of the waves to wash away your stress, restoring focus." Wait a minute. Oh my god. As Dr. Yoke is kicked in the face and Belle is launched backwards in the wall, Dr. Yoke says, "Bro!" While Nick grapples with Amy's hammer, Tails comes up from behind and unzips Nick's suit, and a very familiar tail pops out. I didn't think it was these dum-dums. Amy in disgust says, "I know that tail anywhere. And that smell." Dr. Yoke says, "I guess that's it." While Nick says, "Aw man, we've been rumbled." Amy points, "Those aren't Clean Sweep mascots, that's Rough and Tumble." Tumble says as he unmasks, and as Rough works his way out of the Nick suit, he says, "Oh, you better believe it. Now we can really cut loose." And they immediately get on the walkie-talkies, with Tumble saying, "We've got more infiltrators just outside the director's office," with Ruff saying, "They've got us outnumbered. Send everyone you've got." They then smile sinister smiles, with Tumble saying, "Clean Sweep will be here any second, ready to get swept," while Ruff says, better run, it'll be so much more fun," as they chase down Amy, Tails, and Belle. Next time, the end of the Phantom. I'll be honest, I was absolutely sad when this story came to an end, because it was really doing some great stuff. But it's more of a bridging and setup issue for the issue to come afterward. It sucks that we're getting so little of what's been going on with Amy, Tails, and Belle, because while it feels like so much keeps happening with Sonic, so little is happening with Amy and the others. With Sonic, it feels like so much time keeps passing, but with Amy and the rest, it feels like it's just minutes in. Like it's just bam, 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 bam. So it feels noticeable when it's just like, wait, shouldn't you guys have been further along with what you've been doing? But maybe that's just a matter of perspective. Part of me was actually surprised when Jet went after Sonic, but it's obvious that Jet now has a bit of a hero complex, but it's all in the guise of just wanting to be adorned and praised and all of that. He wants that spotlight, which is very on theme. but I do find myself wondering how that's probably gonna backfire on Jet in the long run. It's cool that the Chaotix are involved, but it's also kind of weird that we haven't really seen what they've been up to. But I guess that probably would have given too much away if we knew they were already involved. But knowing that they had already been investigating and they've disappeared, man, a lot is stacking up against Clutch as time goes on. You know, he's trying to keep his air of intimidation and control, which he does pretty well. But yeah, you can see the dominoes being lined up for his eventual downfall, which I enjoy. Though we can see how it's about to happen, that's not a bad thing. I'd rather have it make sense how this downfall came about. And I feel like there'd be people who'd say he should have known this was gonna happen, but it's like, some people just don't know when they're overstepping. My question is, will Mimic go down with him? And I'm glad that Dawn and Night actually know Sonic's side of the story too. Maybe they can help out in some way, shape, or form. For a second though, I thought Jewel had been kidnapped, but no, she was actually doing work. But it's this thing of others knowing how much of a workaholic Jewel is and constantly doing what they can to keep her in the dark. And because Jewel isn't the kind of leader who would know all the angles, she's not the hardest person to deceive. The previous issue showed that she knows something is up, but maybe she was working with the Chaotix? It's hard to say. I'm waiting for that little inkling we had that maybe Jewel was on to something being up to kind of come to roost. And that moment with Surge and Kit, man, just that tantrum that Surge was running. But it makes sense. She doesn't like the idea of being controlled, and the fact that Clutch kind of rubs her face into it too. But I am curious what Kit's plan is gonna be. And I'm also wondering, what part are they gonna play in the future when all this shakes out? Will they go down for collaborating with Clutch? Or will they manage to keep their freedom and autonomy? Will they go on the run? Will they still hang around? Kind of hard to say. And the reveal of Rough and Tumble, and that they've been here this entire time in the mascot costumes, is actually hilarious to me. I will be honest, I didn't see it coming. Cause we saw the people who tied up Belle. Or maybe they were just wearing the clean sweep uniforms? I don't know. that one really did kinda catch me off guard. And Sonic as the Phantom Rider is still cool. It's just Sonic was the least important part to a lot of this, which isn't a bad thing. Sometimes you need Sonic to take a bit of a back seat so he can really show his stuff later down the line. But a good enough issue, so let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the ride. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din, and I hope to see you later. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.